Hello, you're watching Sahara TV. I'm Chika Odor. We begin our program today to discuss a very hot topic. Everyone is talking about it. It's been all over the headlines in Nigerian media. This is the time where we discuss the $3 million scandal involving Nigerian lawmaker Farouk Lawan. Of course, the story has been all over the news, and one of the writers who has been following the story is joining us today. We have Mr. Ekott. He is a political reporter for Nigeria's Premium Times, and he has been following the story, and he is here joining us in Nigeria via telephone to give us some of the latest updates with the story. Mr. Ekott, thank you so much for joining us on Sahara TV.
No, thank you.
So I just want to start, what are the latest developments with this scandal? Obviously, we know that Mr. Lawan was the chairman of a House of Representative committee, which was tasked to look into the fuel subsidies scandals. But of course, he's now gotten into his own troubles. So give us the latest updates with this case.
Well, the latest this time, as much as we know, is that Mr. Lawan is still with the police. So I don't know where that he's been released yet. And the man who paid the money, the $620,000, that's from the businessman, has come out to say that the decision of the House of Representatives to bring up the two companies he owns, after they realized that the initial removal of the companies was based on, the bribery between him and Farouk. Mr. Kedola has come up to say that the division of the House was actually a celebration of corruption, and he also believes that Farouk Lawan did not act alone. I think that should mean, or it should imply that maybe there were kind of backers in the House. And of course, we do know the House of Representatives here has been dealing with corruption and scandals like that in the past. So it wouldn't be surprising to know if there is anything like that. Beyond Farouk, maybe there could be any other support.
So you're saying that... You're saying that he did not act alone. So do you have any names? Do you have any evidence that he may have been part of a larger group?
It's not about position, actually. That's what Mr. Kedola said. He's convinced that the lawmaker did not act alone. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about position. It's the position of the man that paid the bribe. That's the oil marketer.
Well, Lawan is saying that he accepted this money just to be able to watch Femi Otedola in action. So do you find any truth in this at all? He was just trying to incriminate this guy?
Sorry, let me say that again, if you don't mind.
I'm saying Lawan is saying he accepted this money to be able to implicate Mr. Femi Otedola. Do you find any truth in this claim? The history or the story of the House of Representatives or the National Assembly here very well. It wouldn't be a story that anyone with good sense of history about that place that should accept. Obviously, it doesn't sound very credible. You would not go as much as going to the very house of the man you claim was pestering you to come and to accept money. You go as much as reaching his home to collect the money, and you took the money months later, not even a day, not in weeks, over a month before when the issue came up. You now put this other argument out. It obviously sounds as an afterthought. So I wouldn't say there's credibility in that he collected the money to implicate Mr. Kedola. I wouldn't accept that. But the irony here, Mr. Ekott, is that Lawan was supposed to head the committee to look into the fraud-ridden fuel subsidy program, and now he's in his own trouble. That's the irony, right? Sorry, let me say that again.
It seems that this is a very ironic case. Lawan was the chairman of the committee to look into the fraud-ridden fuel subsidy program. So this is like a twist of fate where he's now in his own troubles.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's anything more than an irony. I think that should describe it. You have a question of the thief catcher being caught doing the very same thing or even worse. Mr. Lawan has been in the House from 1999. He's been a man that is so respected, within the sphere of the House of Representatives or in the National Assembly. He's been there, first-term member. So when he was selected by the House leadership to lead that investigation, there was obviously a great expectation from his colleagues, lawmakers, and even Nigerians. All the while they thought this is the kind of character, the kind of figure that they would expect to come up with a decent investigation and report. So if in the course of doing this, throughout everything, the reports came up, Nigerians applauded the reports, the executive, led by the president, to make sure the reports are implemented, all the officials indicted should be punished. That shows you the kind of expectations and support Mr. Lawan received at the time. So coming up that the very same man who led that investigation is being accused, and as a matter of fact, he has admitted to doing that very thing. It's more than an irony.
He's not an island. Mr. Ekott, you just said that Lawan was a very well-respected House member, and this is the picture that the media is painting. He is an upstanding member of the House. So why do you think it seems to be very difficult for Nigerian lawmakers to say no to bribes? What is the issue? What is the deeper issue here?
It is a question I think everyone should ask. The answer again doesn't seem far-fetched. Why does it appear to be very difficult for Nigerian lawmakers to say no to bribe? Bribery, corruption generally has sort of been entrenched in the Nigerian system, as I suppose you would understand. It's not just in the National Assembly, to be fair to them. In the executive, presidency, judiciary, of late you would have heard stories of cases of very serious corruption in the judiciary, of which even the judges themselves have admitted. Very well-known judges, past officials.
Would you go as far to say that it's become the order of the day?
You can say that. You can say that. If you follow the division of the House yesterday, the emergency session they held to ask to stand down from two committees, you would have realized that basically such a session should have, laid out condemnations or even show remorse for what happened. But you followed, you would have seen a situation where the House, the lawmakers were celebrating kind of, in quote, were really, feeling not so bad about what happened. I can tell you, they do not really see anything wrong with what happened. What rather they see wrong would be the method or the approach Mr. Lawan took in going to get the money. I think that's the way most of them would criticize him, that he accepted to go to the man's house, to Mr. Settler's house to collect the money. That exactly would be where they hold it against him, not necessarily that he collected the money. So it's been kind of a norm. It's something that it's been there and they get used to it, and it doesn't appear strange.
Right. Wow. So we know now that Mr. Lawan is in detention at the police headquarters in Abuja, but we also understand that there was a video recording where Mr. Lawan was seen stuffing dollar bills into his pockets. Have you seen this video?
Well, I would say it personally that we have sources that we can, say for sure that they are credible. People who have seen the video
sources within the security community between the video and spoken to us about the content. A few of the things that they noted and what they saw.
Do you have access to the video, though? You're a reporter, so do you have access to the video?
That's what I said. I do not. At this time, I haven't seen the video myself, but we have people who have seen. We've spoken to people who have seen the video. We've spoken to those who have seen the videos.
Well, I would definitely like to see it myself, just to see his expression, and I wonder what exactly was going through his mind. Did he not know that there was a camera on him?
That's exactly what I said. It gets back to the issue I raised, that the lawmakers do not hold the question of bribery or going to get money from the man you set out to investigate. That's not what they hold against him. Based on our interactions with a couple of the lawmakers, they are rich. As a matter of fact, it's about Mr. Lawan falling to such what appears to be a very cheap, setting. For a man who's been there, he's been through a lot. He's had experiences, with several investigations. We've also heard that this is not the first time this kind of thing is happening. But only that it's the first time it's coming to the limelight and people are getting to know. So basically, he should have known. That's what they expected of him. He should have known better. He should have known the better approach to take if he needed to get money or to go for the money. So that's what exactly the whole against him.
Mr. Ekott, a lot of people are saying that Mr. Lawan may not face prosecution. What tends to happen in Nigeria with these embattled politicians is that they actually move up in their political careers. Would you agree?
Speaking from experiences that we've had since the return of democracy in 1999, we've had a series of about hundreds of cases being brought against politicians, high-profile politicians, charges of corruption. But if you really go through, you realize that only very few of them have actually been indicted and, prosecuted, indicted, and convicted.
But even the opposite of being indicted, they seem to move up in their political careers. Some people said that had James Ibori not been convicted, he may have become the next president of Nigeria.
That's the issue. That's the issue I'm trying to raise. It is not something strange within the political community here. Those who are found to have been corrupt or still corrupt do not receive the punishment that should be expected. Contrary, you would see them kind of getting, rising on their career. So it wouldn't be surprising if Mr. Lawan benefits from such what has now appeared to be, the same norm. That those who are caught are not punished, rather they are rewarded. As a matter of fact.
So, Mr. Ekott, I want to ask if you can just simply break down, as if I am a 4-year-old child, what is wrong with the political system in Nigeria and why is corruption so rampant, just in its most simplest terms? How do you explain it?
Sorry, I heard what is wrong with the political system in Nigeria.
Right. And I just want you to explain it in the most simplest terms, as if I am a 4-year-old child. How do you break it down? What exactly is happening? What is eroding the system?
Well, if you ask them, they will tell you the attribute is the future of a nascent democracy that is just growing. But I think more than anything, what is wrong, basically, with the system of politics in Nigeria is people not going there to serve, but going in there for purposes that are not further than self-enrichment. That is exactly what is wrong. So from the lowest cadre, which is the local government, to the state, to the federal, whoever goes into politics, or let me say majority of people who go in there, do not go into film. And that absolutely does not turn anything profitable to the system and to the populace. That's basically what is wrong. It is corruption. Simple.
So have you been intimidated? Have you ever feared your safety as an investigative reporter?
If I've received what? Sorry?
Have you received any threats on your life as an investigative reporter?
I wouldn't say I have. I haven't. It's just not something personal, but as a community, as an organization, we have had incidences of, people possibly taking exception to some of our work and threatening to be a bit, behaving abnormally. So on a personal note, I wouldn't say I have.
And my final question, Mr. Ekott, the general idea for the media is that the media should be a watchdog on society and highlight corruption. Do you think as a whole the Nigerian media is effectively doing this to help curb corruption? Do you think that they're more of watchdogs, or are they lapdogs?
For me, the media in Nigeria generally is been rated as being that way. It's been vibrant and we continue looking at it maybe at the level of Africa.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
I say the Nigerian media has been rated as, several times been branded as being vibrant, at least minimally at the level of the African continent. But I tell you, the problem of corruption is everywhere. It's right there in the media. The media, journalists, reporters do the very same thing that they write against. These are things that happen every day. You just can't take those things away. Now reporters collecting, taking money in favor of patronages from the very people, they are supposed to be reporting.
Have you ever been asked to accept money to twist a story, to change a story?
Of course, but there is no way you practice here and you will not. I have several times.
So how about for this story? Were you bribed for this story? For this particular story, Lawan, the scandal, were you bribed to not report on this story?
Of course, that's not possible to be bribed. I have been offered money in past stories of this very one. When I say offered, I offered but not accepted, not that I've collected.
Right,
that's not possible. Otherwise, we wouldn't do the kind of stories we have been doing. Our stories are not influenced by, that's the premium times right from next. We don't write stories that are influenced by anything. Absolutely nothing. We do the stories that we do. We set out to get stories, and we are thinking of, we are dreaming of getting even bigger stories, and that's clear. Whoever knows what we are doing, that's very clear to everybody. Right. Now, on the Farouk Lawan story, ever since the story broke last week, we have just been doing the stories. We haven't even received anything like offer. But in the Nigerian system, as a journalist, if you are interested in things like that, of course, you set your eyes there, you will always have offers. But we haven't set our eyes there. We haven't set our interest there, so we haven't gotten anything, and we're not looking for anything. We are just doing these stories.
You're just being journalist. That's great. But how much money were you offered?
At what point?
For this story, you said that you were offered money to not go forward with this Lawan story. How much money were you offered?
No, not Lawan story. I hope the lines are clear for you to hear this very clearly.
Okay.
Not the Lawan story. I mean, in the past, okay, some stories that we've done, of course, there will always be people advancing, making advances towards, giving us some packages like money and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that we do not, as a policy, as a matter of policy and
principle, we do not receive or collect anything. We just do not do that. We do our jobs. Then on the Farouk Lawan story, we haven't even received any offer at all. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All the stories we've been doing ever since last week, we've just been doing stories. Nobody has made any advances at all. We've just been doing our stories.
Okay. So you've made it very clear. You've made it very clear that the policy is to not accept any offers. But what I'm asking is, how much money have you been offered in the past? You've made it clear you did not accept. Yes, in the past.
Okay, yeah. If you're asking in the past, yeah, I can respond to that. Well, in the past, it's not a kind of an isolated case. People come up with various sums of money. You know, we do not like that story. We don't want those things to come up.
Are we talking $100? Are we talking about 500,000 naira?
Okay, I thought you were talking about dollars. I want to remind you, we're talking about naira here. Well, we've had ranging from 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 naira and more. There's no fixed rate. They can bandy any sum of money around.
All right. Well, on that note, I have to end this interview, but I want to thank you so much for coming on Sahara TV. We really appreciate your updates and your insights with this very interesting story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right, everyone, that was Mr. Ekott. He is a political reporter for the Premium Times media outlet based in Nigeria. He was giving us some of the latest developments from the bribe scandal, the $3 million bribe scandal implicated in which Representative Farouk Lawan allegedly stole money. He was seen on camera, and now he's being held in detention over the weekend in the police headquarters in Abuja.